Hey everyone, Tyler from Stockscores. We have a very volatile and fast moving market. I've done a number of videos in recent weeks to take you through the crash and the process and the opportunities that it creates. I wanted to do a quick update. This won't be a long video, but a quick update to give you a sense of whether the market has bottomed. You can see that we've had a pretty good bounce back in the last few days, but does that mean that the market has made its bottom? I'm going to give you some insight into how to analyze that and really going forward what to look for. The recent bounce back in the market has been quite lucrative. You've had stocks like Boeing nearly double off of their lows, and these are big companies, and that's encouraging for investors, but it's not yet conclusive that the bottom is in. And the reason why is that markets rarely make V-shaped bottoms. I'll show you what I mean by a V-shaped bottom in just a moment. Now, there is a better pattern to indicate when a downward trend reverses, so let me show you what that is. I'm going to jump over to the Stockscores website, and I have here on screen the S&P 500 chart, and you can see that we bottomed out on the SPY just below 220. We've just about hit 260 today. That's quite a bounce back off of the lows, 15 to 20% off of the lows, but we're still a long way from the highs. Now, this is what I mean by a V-shaped bottom. We went down and we're not going to go straight back up. That's very rarely does that happen. It has happened, but very, very rarely does it happen. What tends to happen is that the market will go down. It'll break the downward trend, which is what we've done. You can see the downward trend line. I could draw something like that. We've broken that. Then what tends to happen is you go up for a bit and then you retest. And the question is, do you go back through the lows or do you make a rising bottom? And so my expectation for the next wave in the market move will be for a pullback. That's the second guessing of whether the bounce is real. And so if the next bit of news that hits the market is somewhat negative, you will see people who have been buying in the last few days take profit. And that'll cause the market to roll over and come back down. Now, what is critical is when it comes back down, does it go all the way through to new lows, in which case we are still in a downward trend, or will it make that rising bottom and then start to go up again? Now, to help determine when that is underway, what I like to do is watch the intraday chart. And you can do that on Stockscores. Just bring up the SPY symbol and then go to the 15-day, 30-minute chart. I'm using these links up at the top here. That's where I set my time frames. And there we can start to watch intraday trends. Now, this is not real time. For an investor, you don't really need real time. If you're a shorter term day trader, then use whatever real time charting system that you have. So let's just walk through the things that we've seen in recent days. So we had the downward trend line broken. One of my recent videos talked about that. We broke that right there. We then broke up from a rising bottom, which happened yesterday. And we are now in this little upward trend. And as long as that is intact, the bounce is still in force. However, my expectation is that in the next few days, we will probably break that little upward trend line. And that'll start that cycle of rolling over. And then the question will be, how far down do we go? Do we go all the way down through new lows, in which case we got more downside to come? Or do we roll over, build a rising bottom, and then break that little pullback, build the rising bottom, and that would be a stronger signal that the market has in fact found its bottom. So we've got the potential to have found the bottom because we've broken the downward trend line there. However, we still need that break up from a rising bottom. And so if we get the pullback, break or build a rising bottom, we're going to build this pattern that'll look something like this. It's what I call my bottom fishing pattern. And then when we break to the upside, at that point, if we've built a rising bottom and we break through that resistance, that will be the conclusive sign that the market has likely made its bottom. Now, I will keep updating with videos because I know it's a very crazy time, and hopefully I can give you some assistance. I've been doing this for 30 years and I've learned these lessons the hard way. So let me say that I will do my best to help you. And if you can, please help me by subscribing to the channel, clicking on the notifications bell. And if you like this video, give it the thumbs up, leave a comment, and most importantly, trade well.